Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into something I think we all struggle with sometimes. That inner critic, that self-doubt that creeps in.
Yeah.
So we're going to figure out how to become our own biggest cheerleaders.
Ooh, I
We're
love
using
it.
this really interesting source. It's called Becoming Your Biggest Cheerleader: How to Stop Doubting Yourself. Have you had a chance to look at this one?
Yeah, I really liked the approach. It's very practical.
Yeah.
It gives you actual strategies to shift that inner dialogue.
Okay.
And they even use humor, which I think is
Yeah.
important, to make it less intimidating.
Right. Yeah, because when we think about like motivational self-talk and stuff,
Right.
it can be kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
So how do we make this not cheesy?
Yeah, it's not about just putting on rose-colored glasses and pretending everything's perfect. It's about understanding the power of our thoughts.
Okay.
And how that self-talk really does influence our confidence and our actions. It's like, if you're training for a marathon, you wouldn't just, go out and run 20 miles without any preparation.
Right.
It's the same with your mind. You have to train your mind.
Oh, I like that.
So you're strong enough to handle those challenging thoughts.
Okay. So we're training our minds like we're training for a marathon. That makes a lot of sense. Now, you mentioned affirmations, right?
Mm.
And how that rewires our brain. So how does that actually work?
Yeah, so every time we repeat a positive affirmation,
Yeah.
we're essentially creating new neural pathways in our brains.
Wow.
And over time, those positive thoughts become our default mode of thinking.
Okay.
And it actually replaces those old negative patterns.
So it's like paving a new road, right? You're getting rid of that old bumpy road and
Yeah.
you're putting in a brand new.
Exactly. Yeah, we're replacing a worn out track with a brand new one.
Okay. I love that. So I'm getting a visual now.
Yeah.
Now, I also want to talk about this hype file that the source mentions. I'm picturing like an actual file folder, like filled with glitter and confetti.
Yeah.
Like, what does that actually look like in practice?
Well, think of it as like a collection of evidence that proves you're awesome.
Okay.
It could be screenshots of emails praising your work, a list of challenges that you've overcome, or even kind notes from friends.
Oh.
And so whenever that self-doubt creeps in, you can pull out your hype file
Yeah.
and remind yourself of all your strengths and your resilience.
I love that. You have like a tangible reminder of all the times you've totally rocked it,
Exactly.
which we all have, by the way.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so speaking of rocking it, this source also talks about using humor as a secret weapon against self-doubt,
Yes.
which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
I get, laughter is medicine, all of that.
Uh-huh.
But isn't there a risk of using humor to avoid facing our fears, head on?
That is a great point, and humor should never be used as a way to avoid dealing with difficult emotions. But it is a tool for perspective, not avoidance, so it helps us detach from the intensity of our negative thoughts and find a more balanced viewpoint.
Okay.
It's like sometimes, even in really challenging situations, there's often an element of absurdity that if you can find the humor in it,
Yeah.
it can really lighten the mood.
Yeah, like taking yourself a little less seriously.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I know I've definitely used in some situations. Like, remember that presentation where I totally tripped over the cord?
Oh, I do. I remember you looked like you were about to have a heart attack.
Yeah, and then I just kind of laughed it off.
You did.
Which, it's funny now.
Uh-huh.
But like in the moment, my heart was racing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a disaster.
Right.
But, I was able to kind of make a joke out of it. And it
Yeah.
really did help, I think.
It does. It shifts the energy.
It does. It shifts the energy. Yeah, so powerful.
Mm.
Okay, so back to some more practical stuff. What are some other tips that we can use to build that inner cheerleader?
Well, starting your day with positive affirmations is a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
But instead of just saying, I am confident, try to make it more specific. Like, I am confident in my ability to solve problems creatively.
Oh, so it's like giving your brain a specific target to focus on.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, I like that. And the source also talks about practicing gratitude.
Yes.
So how does that tie into all of this?
Gratitude is so powerful because it shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. It's like shining a spotlight on the good stuff in our lives. And when we do that, it makes those negative thoughts less prominent.
Okay.
Even something as simple as appreciating a delicious cup of coffee or a beautiful sunny day
Right.
can shift your mood.
Okay, so almost training your brain like a muscle to focus on the positive.
Precisely. Yeah. And just like building any muscle, consistency is key. So find what works for you. Maybe it's journaling about the things you're grateful for, listening to uplifting music, or even having what I call a pep talk buddy.
I like that.
You know, someone you can share your wins with and who will hype you up.
Yeah, I love that. Accountability
Yeah.
and support. Okay, so to recap, we've talked about a lot.
Hmm.
Changing our self-talk, embracing humor, building that positive self-talk routine. We really do have the power to become our own biggest cheerleaders.
Absolutely.
Recognizing that we have the power to shape our own thoughts.
And it's a journey. You know, be kind to yourself along the way
Yes,
and celebrate those victories, even the small ones.
that's such an important reminder. I think we forget that sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to ask all of you listening, think about your biggest challenge right now. What's one affirmation that could help you tackle it with more confidence?
Hmm.
Keep exploring these ideas, and remember, believing in yourself is always that first step. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks, everyone.